Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to PSGL. George Morgan here, your commentator, alongside me, TK, who is going to be rounding off the season with me.
Down the inside,
Absolutely impossible season.
This is for the win between these two.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
He needs to get it done now.
Blakey will dive to the inside.
We were robust, we got our elbows out.
Ronard takes the lead.
Because here comes Alfie Butcher.
Can't really complain with that one.
It's not going to be easy. The pressure is on, of course.
Yarda Watmere is your champion.
Good evening, everybody, and I'm delighted to say we are back after a week's hiatus for more Monday Evening Madness here at Premier Sim Gaming Leagues. This is PlayStation Tier 1 for round number 4 of season 41. And well, we are well and truly back because, Logan, we are heading to Monte Carlo. Legendary, unforgiving, and unlike anything else in the world of motorsport. This should be a cracker to get us back on the front pages. We arrive with Alex Lofer very much on a golden run as he's kickstarted his campaign with 3 wins, 3 poles, and 51 out of a possible 51 championship points. It is perfection personified. But as you and I will both know, Logan, and everybody that's watching this will as well, Monaco has taught us numerous times the form guide that can be thrown straight out of the window once you find yourself threading the needle through the unweighting barriers surrounding this beautiful circuit. It is an exciting one. Like I said, virtual commentary box for this evening's action. Myself, Tom Wilkinson, Ataka Logan back alongside me. I'm just so hyped for Monaco, Logan. It's just every time we go there, even though the racing can be a little bit pragmatic, let's say, it's just so fun to see these cars go around this track.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in qualifying when you give it hell for leather in those cars. I'm going to be looking forward to the race. It can throw a few spanners in the works if you're not careful. And these guys have been away for a week, so they'll not be in the form that they'd want to be in, of course, because they've got that week break. And Alex Lofer, is Alex Lofer racing tonight? Just make sure.
I believe so. I did check the attempts, and I think he was on there. We've had a couple of dropouts, and yes, he is on there, thankfully, because, or maybe not, maybe unthankfully, because of how dominant he's been.
Yeah, but this will really test to see if he can keep that perfect streak alive. 3 wins out of 3, 3 pole positions out of 3. His closest challenger is Tony Richet in 26, of course. Alex Lofer on the full dock at 51. 25 points the gap, but there is, of course, 8 rounds to go. As you've seen in the real world, that the times can change, the points can change, the situation can change very rapidly, even if there's half the rounds of an actual Formula 1 season in this.
Don't talk to me about it. Don't talk to me about it.
Thanks. Van de Geest is the 3rd closest challenger, or 2nd closest challenger. He's on 21.5 behind Richet, and then Evanes Krieg with 20 in 4th place. We'll be looking at that. The instructors obviously see Alpine leading by 30 points and more than double the score of the Racing Bulls team on 31, who haven't even got a podium to their... Actually, oh my goodness, they've made a mistake with the...
Yes, I wasn't going to mention this, but constructors weren't in the right order for us, so we're not going to show it on stream. It is Ferrari 2nd, but they've got less than half the points of Alpine, haven't they? Who are leading the way pretty comfortably, as is Alex Lofer, like you mentioned, in the championship. Those 3 wins out of 3. Tony Richet also, like you said as well, in some decent form. 5th in round number 1. Went for an audacious 2-stop strategy that didn't quite work out, but gave him some decent points. And then back-to-back 3rd places, elevating him above Max van der Geest, who last week in Kota had a bit of a stinker, got the tyre strategy wrong, and we saw rain coming late in the race, and only came through 10th at the Circuit of the Americas. Ivan Escri's been a little bit all over the place in P4. And then Nico, in the contrast to Max van der Geest, had a really, really strong drive. Desperately good tyre saving for the Williams man that gets him inside the top 5. And then you've got Volokongan in 6th. Last season's runner-up, yet to stand on the podium this season. Got a few more chances, but needs to try and arrest a bit of a slide. And Mario's Formula disappointingly finished 3rd in the Australian Grand Prix, but decided to call it quits there and move over to the PC side. So they have abandoned ship after just 1 race this season, which is a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, it is a bit disappointing. We are getting underway, just to mention. Around the streets of Monaco. No heroics into Saint-Devote, please. I am so looking forward to this. I was scared there was going to be a full grid. And this will be the last time, unless we keep the same cars, the last time we do this track, unless it's in Season 42, with these current generation of cars. So they might be wider, they might be narrower next season if they are going to go with that formula and not just
100%.
paint the liveries on and just change the aesthetics. But I'm excited to see it get wider. It's always been a tight track. People say, oh, it was so better in the old days. But no, actually, that's not the case. They were either wider or the same width of car back in the 80s. It was much tougher back then. Of course, the cars, though, are much longer now. So if there was, say, a spin and the car hit sideways, think the 2000 starters aborted because of a computer problem, then they would probably have to stop the race.
100%. 100%. You've mentioned the track there. We all know what Monaco demands. The walls incredibly close, and they are slightly closer than the championship, with the margin for error measured in millimetres. We'll be hoping, like you said, the F1 famous law. No heroics into Sandover on that opening lap, or the 38 laps that will be following. However, the plunge from the undulating hill down into turn 5 of Mirabeau, blasting out of the tunnel into Nouvelle Chicane, and even a sneaky send into La Rascasse present opportunities for bravery. But as we know, this is a test of endurance, composure under pressure, and of course qualifying pace. And there's the added little bit of spice that this is, of course, going to be a mandated 2-stop race, which if it's dry could throw up quite the spice into the pot of the Monaco Grand Prix.
That'll be fun. I didn't even know it was a 2-stop race. I'll just check the briefing again.
Well, I don't think you can disable it, so it should. Otherwise, the game would disqualify everybody.
Oh, is it imposed by the game?
Yeah, it's imposed by the game itself, so there's no getting around it. If you don't make 2 pit stops, you are going to find yourself getting disqualified.
I know in the real world it failed because everyone just, copied each other like the Spider-Man meme. But hopefully it works here. I remember there was a time, like 2020, the top 10 had to start on the same compound they used for qualifying, Q3, and everyone else got to choose what the heck they wanted. Which I find, that's a bit unfair. But at the same time, it is to spice up the action, and it didn't really make much of a difference anyway. But yeah, now you get to choose whatever you want when you are starting the count. Anyway, we've got cars on the track. As you can see, I believe the first driver to start a lap will be Phil in the Aston Martin Aramco. Aston Martin. Whoa, hold on. That is, I believe, Lawrence trying to get his run in.
On the intermediate tyres.
Intermediates. Is there something that we're not seeing? Is there black ice on the track?
I think simply just trying to save a set of the soft compound tyres for either later in this qualifying session or the race because of the mandated 2-stop strategy. Here is Phil dancing through the first sector, up through Massenet, very close to the inside barrier through Casino Square. Surely somebody's going to clatter that wall on the inside and rip the front right tyre from the car down into Mirabeau. And again, really aggressive, hustling that Aston Martin car into the Lowe's hairpin and following it out through turn number 7 and into Portier corner. Another chance for overtakes if you're a little bit slow coming out of said hairpin, and now blasting through the tunnel. Because it is night, we have got the game settings set to nighttime. It's not quite going to be the same flash as your eyes readjust to the daylight. Coming through into the barrier goes Phil on the inside of the Nouvelle Chicane. We thought it would happen at Casino Square. It has happened down into the Nouvelle Chicane, and Phil is the first casualty of a flying lap here at Monaco.
And that is what happens when you're not that careful at the Nouvelle Chicane. If you clip the inside, that is end of story for you. He is out of the session. And the first out, the guinea pig, will not be setting in a lap. And, oh, come on, Lawrence. See, this is why you don't do intermediate. Look, he's pushing him. He's pushing him. Can't believe this. Lawrence Kramer is getting absolutely furious with, and he's hit him. He's hit him as well. He's hit Lawrence in the back. And Jordan has set the fastest timer for 109.035. Yes, you can get under 70 seconds on this track. But this is the problem with Monaco, with it just being so tight and no room to give way. Doing things like starting on intermediates and doing some test laps in, that is something you shouldn't be doing. I'm sorry, but I think they may have to look at that, because I don't think that was very kosher.
Oh, Alex
Lawrence
Loafer, by the way, has just absolutely smashed the barrier coming through to back corner. So committed. He's hit the wall again coming through the swimming pool section. Dirk smashes the benchmark by 0.8 of a second. 109.2. Snicks, first time we've seen them this season in the McLaren, up to P2. Finlay P3, all in the 108s. Can the championship leader take provisional pole? Bit of a scruffy lap time, but does go to the top of the timing charts on a 108.1. But there is certainly some time left in that Alpine car, as I've just seen Phil jump in the chat. Commiserations. Didn't even touch the wall on his screen. That is not ideal at all. That is how punishing this circuit can be. 2x2 almost inside the top 4 with 2 RBs in second and third. Max von der Geest on a 108.3. Then Ivan Esgreed, the teammate to the championship leader, also 108.3 in 4th position.
I don't know why I screamed so loud when I saw Loafer cross the line. I thought the top time was a 109.241, so I have to double check there now. Yeah, so I'm sure that time will improve. And remember, he's still on his perfect score, so he needs this pole position to keep it. Oh my word. Simone Maurer launching car into Santa Vault. Bit of heroics there, but it's totally fine. No damage to his car. I think he may have grazed the wall, though. Coming through to the casino, where, funnily enough, residents of the Monaco are not allowed to play in it. It's for tourists only. Same thing goes for Korea, I think. For some strange reason. So if you're, say you're a professional poker player, you'd have to play in, say, Hong Kong to make a living, not Korea if you're from Korea. Strange.
Thank you for that lovely little factoid. I don't know if I've heard that before. I might have done, but it didn't ring a bell, I have to say. Volokongan, one of 5 drivers that haven't got a time on the board so far. We've just seen the Kicksauber of Gios jump up into 8th place, just nestled inside the 1:09 barrier. Can last season's runner-up go closer? Maybe try and challenge Alex Loafer at the sharp end. It's P5 for Volokongan. A little bit quicker than teammate Finlay, and just displacing Nico, who's bumped down into position number 6. You're watching Simone Mara at the start of their lap. Well, the Haas is coming out of Anthony Nose now with that DRS flap open. What will it be for the Haas driver? Only 12th. And like you said, yes, a little bit of damage. You said they clattered the wall somewhere, missing a substantial part of that end plate.
Crashed it at the pool, but he completes the lap and is ahead of Lars Kramer, who was... You'd probably feel impeded by Lawrence, who has not even set a proper lap. He is on the softs now. But as we're saying, poker is pretty impressive here. They have the European Poker Tour, which is the premier tour. It feels like a sport because, you know, working their magic. And that plays host to the other big event besides motor racing, the EPT Monaco event. Anyway, enough about that. Should mention, Volokongan's not on a lap, he's coming in. So I think no one's on a lap right now. They're either in or out. We've got Dylan Hoagland, who is on reserve duty for Ferrari. And I do believe, yes, he's in the Monza livery. I love the Monza livery. Reminds me of the old days, but they are long gone now.
Fastest middle sector apparently though for Dylan there, and if the game is not telling porcupines, this could be a very decent lap for our reservist who dives into the pits. And I can just see the delta there at 1:08 coming round the penultimate corner. Don't listen to the purple sector times on the track map. They're absolute rubbish, and very often they are not accurate. We're nearly halfway through the session. Drivers trying to extract the maximum performance they can around this incredible racing circuit. But if you want to do the same, well, Sim Racing Setups have very much got you covered. If you head over to their website, which is linked in the description, you can unlock the Pro Tour F125 car setups created and developed by the drivers you see week in, week out here at PSGL. Everything available on all of the setups you can get your hands on for $49.99. I wonder if we've had a crash. I didn't see anybody on a fast lap.
Leon has bashed his car around Novell and he's lost his wing. He's lucky he's still in the session. He's in the special Kicksauber livery. I don't remember what that one was from. I completely forgot. It was definitely not Las Vegas.
Oh dear.
My goodness. Leon, please be careful with the car. Sauber...
I think Jordan in the Aston Martin's just been compromised going through Sandvort on their second attempt. There was a Williams that was clearly coming out of the pits of Nico, I believe, and that has just balked Jordan going through turn number 1. So backing off and going again. Here's Finlay in the second Mercedes, whacks the barrier again, going through to back corner, but down by 0.3, hitting every wall there on the entry and the exit of the swimming pool chicane. A little bit unstable. The driver currently holding 8th position should return to the pits, considering over 1/3 of a second down, and that is not ideal news at all. Here is the the Chroma Papaya McLaren of Snacks. I think I might have said Snicks earlier, or maybe I was thinking of Snicker bars because I was a little bit hungry. As we run up the hill now into Massenet Corner, trying to keep that McLaren planted, trying to keep it as close to the wall as he possibly dares. Bit of wheel spin coming out of Casino Square and down by 1/10 of a second. I'm not sure how many improvements we're going to see on this second flying lap. Remember, drivers are going to be saving a set of the soft compound tyres, maybe one, maybe even two for the race with that mandated two-stop strategy. And Snacks really drifting around these slow speed corners, down through the Lowe's hairpin, through Mirabeau as well, really getting the tail wagging to try and force that front end of the McLaren to rotate as to his desires. Down into the Nouvelle chicane, doesn't clip the wall and is actually quite conservative on entry, but jumps over the sausage curb, and that gains him a little bit of time. We'll see very close to the inside wall, going through to back, and is up by 1/10 of a second. Oh, but he's invalidated.
Indeed, and he's invalidated. That's a real shame for him. So the McLaren failing to get another time on the board to go up the order, but the more important thing is, will that skid block be in good nick?
I feel like that's a targeted attack at one of the two of us in this commentary box, and since you said it, I know who it was directed to. Nico going through the Lowe's hairpin, did find a little bit of an improvement through Sector 1, on some decent form, Nico, after that second place in the Circuit of the Americas 2 weeks ago. Brilliant job on saving those tyres. Got the strategy absolutely spot on. And when the rain came late on, he was able to dance through the twists and turns and keep hold of that second place. Really nice run there through the Nouvelle chicane. Coming up to the back corner, we'll see what the delta is. Has a couple of attempts and wasn't quite fully committed. Losing time and a bit of body work as well. Missing that front right end plate. Clatters over the curves, invalidating in the process. And that is Nico's lap time. Very much thrown in the dustbin there. His second attempt was shaping up nicely, but does have to return to the pits. And that means, though, we can avert our attention to the championship leader. Yellow flag as there's a Haas, I believe, getting out of the way. Alex Lofer, though, has backed off. Hasn't managed to find the improvement. Must have been a mistake somewhere. Dirk is down on his PB by 2 milliseconds. He hits the wall through to back as well, but he's 3.5 tenths up. This could be a massive lap from Dirk if he can keep the final sector in his back pocket. Very unstable over the curbs through the swimming pool chicane. Just 2 corners to go. Raskas now has been dealt with. It's only Anthony knows. Be careful of the inside wall. This should take provisional pole away from the championship leader. Are we getting into the 107s? Oh. You bet your bottom dollar we're into the 107s, and to some tune as well. That is the gauntlet smashed down by Dirk. His teammate finds an improvement, but stays only third on a 108.3. That is a big lap from Dirk, and I say that, Mats van der Geest, it was actually Volokongen improving. That's van der Geest up into second with a 108 flat, so it's an RB 1-2, but Dirk, that is impressive.
Yes, that'll take some beating for a while. Alex Lofer has had the gauntlet thrown at him 5 times over with that lap. Can he find any improvement? He's on one right now, I think.
He's been in the wall, though. He's got some front wing damage.
Oh, there's a Sauber in the wall. That's the Leon. He's having trouble at Nouvelle chicane. Thankfully, Alex Lofer gets through. He is improving, but it's not enough to take pole position. Maybe second. He hits the wall out of the swimming pool chicane, and he's got damage. So he's not going to be completing the lap. But Alex Lofer's perfect record is in jeopardy here.
Quite crucially, though, he was up by 1/10 of a second with that front wing damage that he had for the majority of that flying lap. So there's still some pace in the back pocket of our championship leader. Lawrence taking Casino Square at quite the sedate pace and is down by 2 seconds. Lars Kramer is the car in front. I can see that ERS light flashing. That doesn't necessarily mean they're on a cool down lap, and we'll see how they attack the Nouvelle chicane. Finlay out there, once upon a time, was inside the top 5, has just started another flying lap after taking a tumble into the walls. Now bumped down into P12, and we've seen Phil stack it, and we've also seen Leon in the kick Sauber have 1 or 2 adventures out there, haven't we? It has to be said. The other Sauber finding time, Kiyoshi into the 108.5s, and yes, Lars Kramer is down by 3.5 seconds, so he will ride on board with the silver hours of Finlay as he approaches the tunnel.
Finlay coming out of the tunnel pretty soon, taking that right corner, and now into the Nouvelle chicane he goes. How's he going to tackle this? He goes right for the apex at the first turn, and it's nicely done now through to back. Grazes the wall a bit, but he's fine through the chicane. And the second one looks clean. Now for the final part. Round through to Anthony Noakes now. Laraskas and Anthony Noakes, DRS on. What's the time going to be from Finlay? It's going to be good for 5th place. Just half a tenth improvement. but 6 tenths down on that fantastic job from Dirk. I say half a second improvement, and 6 tenths per second but down from Dirk. 4 minutes and change to go.
If you're looking at the chat, I have to respect it, Leon, to be honest. 3-3 wings. I mean, my hat is taken off. I'm applauding you, sir, because that's quite the mission to go around Monaco. I don't envy you at all, because that sounds catastrophically unpleasant to drive, and you have had a few adventures, so I can imagine it's not the nicest to drive. Last to last incoming. I believe that if you keep it out of the walls, you're probably going to pick up a couple of points, because if PSGL this season is anything to go by, we have had a couple of big crashes, haven't we? They've taken out a number of drivers. Nico just started another flying lap, 11th at the moment. The McLaren of Snacks was on a flying lap, but a poor first sector and invalidation puts pay to those attempts. Only one McLaren on the grid this week as they start to tumble in the Constructors' Championship. The only point scoring race they've had is that third place for Marius Formula in Australia, round number 1, that now counts for nothing because Marius Formula isn't racing here anymore, and Nico has backed off as well.
Yeah, so 3 minutes now, and this is crunch time for Alex Lofer. If he doesn't get pole position here, his perfect record, even though it's 1 point, is erased. And we've got a couple of traffic here. We've got the two Alpines causing a bit of a bottleneck. That's Ivskrig on his out lap, and so is Alex Lofer, or of course championship leader. Now, who's that? Oh, they're all on their out lap. Okay, so it doesn't cause any problems. I think the McLaren though is on a lap. Snacks, or well, Snicksk.
I'm gonna go with Snacks. I'm going to go with Snacks. I'm not sure. I also feel stupid now because Leon has just corrected me and said that he's destroyed 3 out of 3 wings so far rather than running 3 wings. So I feel like an idiot for saying that, but still not ideal at all.
I've done worse. So he's a quarter second up and he hits the wall. It's a common theme there. Charles Leclerc could never and not destroy the car. Coming out of the final corner, grazes the inside of Anthony Nogues and looks like he's going right to the inside, hugging the wall, and goes into the P7 just behind Ivanis Krieg, the teammate, the sidekick of Mr. Perfect, or maybe not anymore if he can't get this lap. He's already hit the wall.
Pressure.
He's still going, it seems.
Big pressure though, isn't it, on Alex Lofer?
Yeah, he does. He's got 3 laps of fuel on him, so I think he's going to be suited and booted for 2 laps. If this one doesn't get into the net, if this one does not get into the top, it will have to be the next one. He is giving it everything. He is driving that car like a crazed demon. Coming into the tunnel now. I'm losing my voice myself.
Nice.
Into the Nouvelle chicane. Gets right onto the apex, still in bounds, still in the clear. Through to back, and he hits the wall again. I think everyone's struggling to keep it out of the walls today. And my goodness, he sent it right through and licked the stamp while at it. Can he get up to the top though? If not, he's going to have to go again. 106, 107. No, he's 1/10 down.
Wasn't pretty. It was relatively fast. He hasn't got any battery left. He can't go again. That is Alex Lofer that's going to be done. And that is the qualifying king failing to take pole position for the first time in 11 races. And it's down now to the RBs to duke it out. Dirk has tried the reverse entry drift, though, into the Lowe's hairpin, and that has gone about as well as you would expect. Lots of yellow flags flying. What can Max von der Geest do with 11 seconds of the qualifying session remaining? Smacks the wall incredibly hard. Going through to back corner. Still got his front wing intact as the checkered flag is going to be flying very, very shortly. Was up by a little bit, but not enough to take pole position away from his teammate. That checkered flag is now fluttering, and it will be Mats van der Geest second over the line behind Voller Kongen, who doesn't find an improvement. Mats van der Geest into the 107s, but still only P3. Lars Kramer is down. What about Finlay? Up by a couple of tenths, but is invalidated. Ivan Eskrig is down as well by a tenth through the first sector. Big gaggle of cars in the final sector, but with the yellow flags we've seen, I think there have definitely been some scrapes and some skirmishes out there. Can Ivan find some more time? A little bit, but not enough really to challenge Dirk, who is leagues above at this stage. advantage. Alex Loafer, it wasn't tidy throughout that entire qualifying session. That's the least comfortable the lead Alpine and the championship leader has looked over one lap for quite some time. Here comes his teammate round the final corner. Can he jump up a few places? Yes, into P4. Good final sector from Ivan there. Looking further down, I don't think there's anybody else really pushing. Polymaki is slow. Simone coming out of the final corner and has stacked it very hard into the wall. And the Aston Martin of Jordan comes through, was invalidated anyway. But that is qualifying done. It's only Dylan Hogland, is it, who's up by a little bit, but was impeded, it has to be said. Wasn't helped by the Haas being stricken in the middle of the road.
Yeah, that was unfortunate to see. But, you know, that would be a red flag in any other normal cases, so we probably wouldn't have got to finish the lap. Obviously, the red flag can be really cool, but we don't have it in qualifying, thankfully. And we shouldn't, because, well, it would ruin the session, wouldn't it? Anyway. Alex Loafer's perfect record is gone. He loses the pole position point to Dirk, but he still starts on the front row, just behind him. And Van de Geest, look at this. Racing Bulls on... It's the right they start, isn't it? It's the inside. It's their right. And and Alpines will be on the left, or our right, because we're facing it 180 degrees. So it's Dirk, Alex, Max, and Ivan, your top four. Lars rounds out the top five. Then Volokong and Finley, the two Mercedes, before Snack and Matus and Dylan Hoagland's the reserve in the Ferrari. Going to be rounding out the top 10, and Leon at the bottom there. No, sorry, I think
it was Leon. Neither of them got a time on the board, but yes, it was Leon who started at the back. It is dry. Right. So that is job number one done. Remember, everybody, 50% race, but the mandated two-stop strategy is still enforced on the F1 25 game. There's no way of removing that, so strategy is going to be crucial. I'm really interested to see what tactics drivers choose to employ. What can the championship leader do? He said, no longer perfect, 51 out of 52 points scored so far this season. The first time in 10 that he hasn't qualified on pole. First time this season somebody other than Alex Loafer will be starting right at the front of the grid. This could be a very spicy Monaco Grand Prix. Before we get going, remember, everybody, mentioned it earlier on, make sure you check out title sponsor Sim Racing Setups for the best setups in the F1 setup business. Head over to the link that is in the description. All setups available for £49.49. If you think 27 circuits on the game, $49.99 divided by 27, that is pretty good going. And make sure you use code PSGL at checkout. That will give you a 5% discount.
So, if you may have heard, I think this might be the 59,638th time I've mentioned it, but F1 25 is going to be around for the next cycle as well. So this cycle is going to be 6 seasons long. So once the mid of summer of 26 comes round, we won't be going to F1 26, as you heard. If you've not heard, EA Sports are going to release an expansion pack, a DLC, for F1 26 on F1 25, and I'm sure that will just be the F1 cars in that season and drivers. Remember, and the Cadillac, of course, we can't forget the Cadillacs. And remember, they're all new cars, so they'll have different feel to them and all, hopefully. And may see the Madrid track in action. Oh, we might as well get underway.
Shortest run down to turn number one. Championship leaders are not starting from pole. It's Dirk in that first position. It is lights out. We are racing for the Monaco Grand Prix. Alex Loafer with the better start. Can he hang it around the outside of Sandoval? The answer is no. And he firmly rebuffs the assault from the championship leader, keeping Alex Loafer in his back pocket as Phil and Simone Mara dropping behind the Sauber of Leon. And Simone is out of the race. Carbon fibre thrown up. Haven't yet got a safety car, but it is a virtual safety car. But that is not good news. Simone lasting all but one corner of the Monaco Grand Prix. Was there some contact with the Sauber and the Aston Martin that were also towards the back? Neither of those cars have picked up any damage, but not an ideal start at all. Mixture of tyres going on, has to be said as well. Top four on the hards. Then you've got Volokongen on the mediums. Lars on the hards, Snack on the mediums. And then the next three, on the hard compound tyres. Guyosh on the mediums. Nico on the hard soft tyres for Lawrence. Interesting one. Jordan, Leon and Phil all on the mediums with Polymaki on the hards. And we are racing once again. Can Alex Loafer try and catch Dirk Napping? There's a big gaggle of cars battling behind as well. All over the place. The cars are strewn on the run down into the Nouvelle chicane. Off the road goes Mats van der Geest. Got a 3-second time penalty as well. There's Volokongen on the mediums trying to muscle his way past Ivan Eskrigas around the outside of Tabak. And I tell you what, he's managed to get the job done. The McLaren still side by side also. Finlay dropping back in the Mercedes, getting buffed out over the sausage curbs. He rises. There's a big clatter from somebody hitting the wall. And a spinner. Ferrari dropping it on the run into the Raskas. And Finlay, the innocent bystander, slammed into the wall by the Scarlet car.
And everyone's going in the pit lane. And what's this? Dylan Hoagland was deciding a bit, but then he's changed his mind. He tried to go for P8, but he is messed up. And now Volokongen's up to 4th. Sorry, no, Finlay he was fighting, not Volokongen. Finlay's now down to 14th from 7th start. That is a horrible way to lose all those positions. Dylan Hoagland getting too aggressive, I feel, and probably going to have that looked at by the steward. Van der Geest cut the corner, will get a 3-second penalty. He could get that removed, but I highly doubt that will happen. Actually, no, you know, it might. We'll see what the stewards think of it, but it did look like just completely skipped the entire Nouvelle chicane through to the second lap to come. It's already been chaos everywhere. As actually good news for those in between 14th and actually I think it's the bottom two only, Lawrence and Jordan. They've already used one of their 2 stops. They can now treat this as like we're starting again. It's just a 1 stop from now, so that could help them if they want to get some points. But I don't think it will help, like, you know, the race overall. As we are starting lap number 3, Dirk is still leading Alex Loafer. Alex Loafer somehow did not get into the lead. He had a fantastic start, but he is stuck behind Dirk for now as they come up through the hills of Monaco.
And I have to say, by the way,
you know,
Max van der Geest is missing his left-hand end plate, so we saw a lot of bumps and scrapes on the opening lap. I think he hit the inside wall going into the Nouvelle chicane. That's why he fell off the circuit and subsequently picked up that 3-second time penalty, instantaneous 3-second time penalty as well. So he's hobbled massively by that lack of front downforce. That is why Volokongen is sternly examining the rear diffuser of that Racing Bulls car. Alex Loafer 1.5 seconds further up the road. Then you've got Ivan Eskrig in the second Alpine ahead of Lars, Snacks, Guyosh, Mateus and Nico, your top 10. And you made a very valid point. I think for Lawrence starting on the soft tyres, that was probably his main game plan. Pit on lap number 1, get one of those mandated stops out of the way, and now he's got 14 seconds worth of free space and free clear air to drive into.
Yes, he does, but he will have to pit again, of course. So that's probably why Van der Geest is falling way behind the other 2-second gap, and it's causing a big traffic jam behind him, perhaps, if Volokongen goes up anytime soon. Remember, it is nearly impossible to pass in some of these locations in Monaco. I think you're only going to get past on the straights, it looks like. The hairpin, absolutely no chance. Anthony Nogues, almost no chance. Larascas, almost no chance. Dylan, case in point. But there is, of course, the Nouvelle chicane and the front stretch into Saint-Devote that is available for overtaking, but I've not seen much of it since the start.
Yeah, Mirabeau is also an opportunity if you can follow really closely up through Massenet and then bumping back down the hill. Remember, you have to dart over to the right-hand side because of the undulations of this circuit. Can really put the car off and set it out of kilter. 0.6 per second the gap out in front as they continue to stretch their legs over the slightly handicapped Mats van der Geest with that front wing damage, just giving him extra work and extra effort to do to make that RB car work around this circuit with the reduction, significant reduction in front downforce. Volokongen's just backed off a little bit there. Now a second separating him and Max van der Geest. It's going to be interesting to see what he does as Ivan Eskrig getting off his hard compound tyres, diving into the pits along with the Sauber of Guyosh. This is where we're going to see the strategy game be played. Who has cooked up what for this Monaco Grand Prix? They're getting their first stops out of the way, jumping onto a set of the medium tyres. Looking at the timing of that, maybe they've selected 2 mediums and they're thinking they can go medium to the end of this race. At least that's what Ivan is thinking, because Guyosh, who was on the mediums, has chucked on his first set of hard tyres.
Yes, he has. So that's his first of 2 stops complete. You must do 2 stops. If you don't, you're getting disqualified. So please be very, very careful of that. It has cost some people. I think it nearly cost the Mercedes team. I think they almost forgot to pit, but they probably goal hanging for a safety car. Almost forgot to pit the second time. So I keep having to stress this. Please do it, because you will not get any points if you don't. Should mention right now, the gap at the top is still half a second. It's probably the closest gap everywhere. I actually stand corrected. 10th and 11th is pretty close. Leon and Phil, the two drivers that started at the rear. Leon's already 10th, but of course he's not stopped yet. So, but of course they've taken advantage.
Wow.
Whoa! Slide into the pits. I say that.
Oh dear!
What in the world is that?
It's hurt Phil as well.
Yeah, slides into Leon, and Leon ghosts and spins around in pit lane. In the real world, that would be a DNF. But thankfully, this is a video game. No front wing change, thankfully. So I don't think it affected that much. I love that Kick Sauber livery, by the way. It was used in Miami. So the other Kick Sauber is using the regular livery, which is pretty cool. It feels like, it reminds me of slime. If you remember, if you watched the Nickelodeon game shows, they had a lot of slime in their game shows. Double Dare, especially.
I do remember that. Yeah, that is actually right. I think that is the shade of green that they are working with. Then the apple cart has been upset by those stops. Ivan Escreed now leading Guyosh, Lawrence, who's got ahead of Jordan, both of whom are now ahead of Leon and Phil. Phil slightly unfortunate there to get balked on pit lane entry with the half-spinning Sauber of Leon in front of him. Ivan Escreed with 12 seconds of free air to try and work into and get that undercut over his teammate and the other leading contenders. He's going off kilter compared to them as Snacks now diving into the pits in that McLaren car to get shot at his first set of the medium compound tyres. 4 seconds now the gap as well between the leading duo and Max von der Geest, as that McLaren with a fresh set of boots on, hard compound tyres, fought the Papaya McLaren car rolling very sedately down the pit lane.
So Snacks will come out. Remember, they have to cut the entire first corner. So they also got to be very careful not to tread the yellow line. It's yellow, not white, because of course there's road markings on this, so that's why it's yellow. Comes out behind Lawrence, who is already stopped as well. And you'll be chasing him down for 12th place on the track at the moment. Into the hairpin we come. And this is where you probably get the best view if you're living in that hotel up there, which is one of the mainstays of Monaco. Of course, lots of new things being built, such as the hotel, which unfortunately blocks the aerial view you get through the tunnel when they come out of it. But I guess it makes up if you are a close-up spectator and you want to watch the action. When you come through to back now, where general admission is, I think, is it section Z, section Z, and then of course the big one at the castle, which is very hard to see, unfortunately, but it's better than paying for a yacht. Where they come, Anthony knows now, and 4 attempts is the gap between them, but there is a closer one between Matheus and Nico. I'm completely pronouncing these names different to you, sir.
We've had an overtake, though, out of the pits. I think Jordan's had a bit of a blunder as the two Aston Martins getting entangled and almost one of them spat into the wall on the run-up towards Massenet. Leon and then Phil eventually muscling their way past Jordan, who must have gone deep down into Sand of Vault. That's the only explanation, because he did have a little bit of time in hand over that duo that now sit directly in front of him, and he is, you can see, missing a significant chunk of the right-hand side of his front wing, so must have plastered it down the barrier on the exit of Sand of Vault. That is not good news for Jordan, who had got himself ahead of a couple of cars after boxing on the opening lap. And this is where this strategy game is going to be so important, because the leaders, they need this information. Yes, they're in the lead of the race. Yes, they've got the best pace, but with the undercuts being thrown by the likes of Ivan, Guyosh and all of the others that have made their first of 2 stops already, they don't want to give up the track position. Their hands may be forced by the punches pulled by some of the drivers in the bottom half.
Could be indeed. I should mention the gap now between Matheus and Nico's crept down to 2 attempts. Could be a move. The other Williams of Lars Kramer is getting involved as well, with Volakongen ahead of him. So 2 battles for the price of 1, separated by 1.6 seconds as they approach the hairpin again. 39 laps, the most laps of them all, but you've got to compensate the fact that it is only 3.337 kilometers of racing track, And in fact, they do not complete a half a Grand Prix distance. It's actually only 130 kilometers, not 152.5, and a big slide from Nico, which is the minimum usually for half a Grand Prix distance, which is why there are that many laps. And Nico whacks the barrier and he's lost some time to Mateus as a result, as his teammate is still holding up to Volokongan, who's behind Van de Geest as well. Van de Geest, I see what he's doing here. He's holding everyone up with this staying out. And now the gap between him and Alex Loeffler is 6.5 seconds. And plus he's also got that 3-second penalty.
And he's got that front wing damage, which I think will definitely be contributing to it. And I wonder if Volokongan in particular on those medium tyres has maybe just missed a trick here, because I'm looking at Ivan Eskri setting the fastest laps of the race, still in 8 seconds worth of fresh air that he can drive into as Jordan retires in the pit lane. That is not surprising after the skirmishes. Lars Kramer, though, has lost a heap of time and is now side by side down to the Lowe's hairpin with the Haas of Mateus. So from defence to attack very, very quickly for Mateus. Now the inside on the run up down into Portier corner, but isn't quite going to be close enough to think about it into Portier. Just run out of road. Big slide once again for Nico, struggling with the rear end of that Williams car. Polymaki arriving on the scene for Red Bull as well. Finlay in the back of shot also. 2 seconds now the gap out in front as well, as Alex Loeffler has dropped a heap of time to his main rival. But Lars Kramer doing a very decent job there, it has to be said, to hold on, desperately hold on to 5th place. But look, he's all over the place going through to back. Those Williams cars look very unstable.
Yes, they do indeed. Ignore the yellow flag. That is Jordan retiring, and I hope it's in a safe place, because coming up right now is Dirk, the race leader. So I'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. There's the Aston Martin, and he's out of the way. Okay.
That would have been heart and mouth moment there.
He was very close to him, yeah. But there's a battle between Polymaki and Finlay potentially. This is for 8th on track. I don't know what position it actually is for right now, because of course the 2 stop are probably going to cause a bit of a spanner in the works for us commentators, trying to figure out who's where, because of course it's a much shorter race.
100%. We could have someone do a Max Verstappen strategy, pitting on the very last lap of the Grand Prix. Ivan Eskri is the leader of the one-stop brigade so far, as Leon has passed Snacks. More side-by-side action going on into the Lowe's hairpin, continuing into turn 7, up towards Portier. Slammed into the wall, though. Wasn't the space left for the McLaren of Snacks, who now finds himself out on the cold, hard shoulder going through Portier. And wheel locking here is not exactly ideal.
No.
Bit of an ego battle there as they go through the tunnel. Into the Nouvelle Chicane we go, still side-by-side. Absolutely terrible camera angle game. Still playing bumper cars as Mats van der Geest is into the pits. Leon again trying to get the tyre hooking going around the outside. Surely going to end in tears. Yes, it most certainly does. Front wing chipped off for the Sauber. Phil saying, come on guys, either sort it out or get the hell out of the way. And in the end, it's the Kick Sauber that gets ahead of the McLaren. Now goes deep into Raskas, and backsliding down the inside goes Snacks. And into the final corner. Don't often see cars side by side here. Mats van der Geest is going to come out of the pit lane very, very shortly as well. No way, it's going to be 3 wide in Monaco. Field around the outside into turn number 1. Snacks is there, squeezed into the wall again. Bumper cars. 101 from this trio, climbing up the hill now into Massenet we go. Phil has managed to get past the pair of them here. We're thanking his lucky stars that he didn't end up upside down. Snacks and Leon continuing to knock 10 bells out of each other, but eventually the McLaren is through.
And I should also mention Polymaki was in the battle with the 2 Williams, but Polymaki got caught out and unfortunately lost the position, nearly lost the car, and lost a bunch of time as I was looking. That's what the oh no was from me. And Polymaki now down to 6. He has been let through by Lars Kramer, it seems, so I actually think a bit of good sportsmanship from Lars Kramer. He seems to have let him through. Or actually, is it because he's got damage?
I don't think he's got damage.
No, he hasn't, as Alex Loeffler has stopped for medium tyres. And that will bring the other 2, Mateus and Nico, up into 3rd and 4th. And they've got their own battle too. Finlay is coming out as well. Alex Loeffler comes out ahead of Lars Kramer, who is yet to stop.
Timed that well. Timed that really well because his teammate's only a second and a half further back. Yes, there may have been some team orders going on, but Alex Lofer doesn't want to waste any time here because he had lost 3 seconds the gap between himself and Dirk by the time he decided to get down pit road and get some fresh tyres on. So interesting, maybe a lack of pace there at the end of the hard tyres. Sin only did 12 laps on them, so just make of that what you will. And now charging off into the distance, leaving Lars Kramer, who is yet to stop, very much in his wake. And then it is the second Alpine of Ivan Eskrig. Mats van der Geest, I don't think would have changed the front wing. Just going to ride on board or off board with that RB. And I think he is still missing that front right end plate. Yes, still carrying that little bit of damage. And of course, the 10-second penalty in P10, a second and a half behind the Sauber of Giosh, who has been on those hard tyres for 8 laps so far.
Was it a 10-second penalty?
3-second penalty. Did I say 10?
Let me double check.
I think it was a 3-second penalty. If I said 10, I
It
do
was 3
apologise.
seconds,
Yeah.
We've got some pit stops. The two Williams are in. Hopefully it's not going to cause a double stack because of course that's Nico in as well, but it hasn't. They timed that very well, the Williams team. No need to put on different laps, and Leon has officially retired from the race.
Here comes Alex
Well-
Lofer, by the way. Sorry to cut in, darting down the inside into Mirabeau. That was clinical, needed to get that job done. Polymaki yet to stop, and the championship leader charging at the moment, trying to make this undercut work to give himself some track position over the pole sitter.
Damage as well for Polymaki. That was in the incident involving the Williams. There's a slide out onto the tunnel, and coming down through the tunnel, he is going to be 1.7 seconds now behind Alex Lofer. I think the time is he's going to have to come in and pit. The gap at the top, 18 seconds. Dirk, the only driver not to pit that, other than, well, Matthias hasn't either, but he's in 18 seconds down. One of 3 drivers to pit, and in fact, Matthias is fighting with Alex Lofer right now. Is this the moment Alex Lofer's going to come? Matthias is coming in. Yes, Matthias is in, and that will give Alex Lofer clean air. But it's he would have liked a little more. This is the undercut, obviously, for Alex Lofer. Dirk is going to be coming in soon, but the question is when.
Yeah, and that would have lost him. That lost him about a second to Durkan in front, but now he can really use those brand new medium tyres. Only 2 laps on them so far. Was 3 seconds behind when he charged into the pit lane a couple of laps ago, and you can see already taking half a second out of the race leader and pole sitter through the first sector. Mats van der Geest trying it round the outside of Casino Square. Somehow turns into a switchback, and he's down the inside of Giosh. Into Mirabeau corner we go. Might have front wing damage, but certainly not dampening his spirits. And Mats van der Geest is up into 4th place, now behind the Alpine of Ivan Eskrig, who pitted on lap 5 of this race, first of 2 stops for him. Got himself some really nice track position, but has lost 8.5 seconds in 2 laps to Alex Lofer. That is the state of play for the 2 Alpine cars. I think Ivan's going to be under significant pressure into the Nouvelle chicane. Dangles the nose, does Mats van der Geest, but doesn't quite have the overspeed and isn't quite confident enough under braking to charge down the inside and take 3rd off his hands.
It's another battle brewing, and that's a mistake from Van der Geest. There's another battle brewing, I believe it was right at the back there. It was Snacked and Nico. They were fighting a lot in the first part of the track, and now they're going to be fighting through to back and the swimming pool section. And now towards Lars Gas. Is it going to be a cheeky move, perhaps, like Charles Leclerc did? No, not right now. But there was some battling. There was battling up through Casino Square and the Lowe's hairpin. There's a move here from Nico, and he gets through. Brilliant move. Heroics into Santa Fault is allowed when it's a move like that. Very good move. And even Eskrig is battling with Van der Geest into the Lowe's hairpin section, and Van der Geest is through into 3rd, and he's still got that damage.
I wonder if Ivan has actually just been trying to back up and do the Williams and RB job that we saw them do in real life, because that's 10 seconds that he's lost in 3 laps. I know he's got, 8-lap fresher medium tyres as Alex Lofer, but that is a significant drop-off in pace for Ivan Eskrig, considering how fast he was in the early stages. And Mats van der Geest dancing around the outside, finally getting that job done. Phil has just been pocket-pinched into the Nouvelle chicane as off the road goes Finlay. Front wing damage for the Mercedes car. Nico up into 8th place ahead of the Aston Martin of Phil, managing to put a car car between himself and his sparring partner Snacks, with Polymaki, who pitted on the previous lap, following in hot pursuit as well, also with that front wing damage that we mentioned earlier on. There's a lot more battling, has to be said, than I thought we were going to see here at Monaco, and this is maybe where the mandated two-stop strategy is giving us a little bit better racing, unlike what we saw in real life, because the tyre offsets for so many drivers mean that there's so much of a differential in pace for some of these cars. Finlay into the pits, not to retire as yet, getting that front wing fixed and boxing to take him to the end of the race. But look at this, Polymaki trying it around the outside through Massenet. Volokong is batting away with Guyosh in front. We're going to jump to that scrap, and he has managed to get past the Sauber down into the Lowe's hairpin, diving down the inside into Mirabeau. Goes Polymaki. Little bit of contact with a McLaren on his inside. Got to be careful of Matez. Once again, bumper cars from all of them involved slamming into the rear of the cars. Big train of, what is this, 6 cars in the middle sector, fighting so hard. 7 cars as the race leader is into the pit lane, will filter out behind Alex Lofer, who has been absolutely flying. Nico at the front of this train is trying to go around the outside into the Nouvelle chicane. Does he have the space? Both of them lock up, both of them take to the runoff area, both of them pick up 3-second penalties.
Yeah, and they're not going to be giving away any positions because they pretty much both went off the track. And they didn't give you any advantages, so all they get is a 3-second penalty. That's probably harsh enough. And they...
Oh, Polymaki down the inside again into the Raskas, trying so hard as Phil disappears into the pits side by side again through Anthony Nose. Surely it can't be done. Whacks the barrier. Max Verstappen start through 23, but does manage to get past the McLaren of Snacks. That was brilliant. It wasn't cleaner earlier in the lap, but that one was a clean overtake. But his teammate is under significant pressure because Nico all over the place, ducking and weaving behind Lawrence through the first sector. Surely he's going to take it down into Mirabeau.
And he's going to go for it. He's going to go inside. Nico. Go into the corner, but he can't get it. He's going to go for it. Oh, he's gone lopsided into the hairpin. That might be controversial. Now his teammates crashed into him. And Nico gets into 7th position. I'm sorry for the Love Live reference in the middle of that. But he's there into P7. And now the two... Oh, what's this? The 2 Red Bulls are clashing. You never see this in real life. Honestly. Coming through the Nouvelle chicane, and now the other Williams in this giant sandwich or burger of a Williams order of cars, now going to try and fight them both. Guyosh, by the way, Guyosh is now pitting as well. I thought he was going to make a move, but he's not. Now, Lars Kramer is going to try and pinch both. Well, he's not going to have to pinch Lawrence. He's pitted, and now Lars Kramer is going to be fighting Polymaki on his own. And behind him is Snacks. My goodness, it's all kicking off. FIA, take note!
It's not been the cleanest Monaco Grand Prix, but I tell you what, there has certainly been action, and we might be seeing some at the front soon, because Dirk was 5 seconds behind Alex Lofer when he came out of the pits, eroded that down to 3, and he's starting to cruise back up onto the heels of the championship leader. Lost his pole streak for the first time in 10 races, Alex Lofer. Still looking to go 4 from 4 on race victories and pick up another 16 points to add to the kitty and extend his championship lead. Ivan Escuri really struggling, pitted early, now 6 seconds off the back of Volokong, with Nico in the Williams to deal with as well. And then it's the battle behind of Polymaki, Lars Kramer and Snacks. Everything has just calmed down as a few drivers have made their final stops of the race, barring any significant damage later on. But look at Nico, he's almost pushing the Alpine of Ivan through the swimming pool chicane. Now going to try it down the inside into Raskas. Didn't quite find the space. Is Ivan going to box because his pace has fallen off a cliff? Yes, but Nico's going to follow him in.
Yeah, they're both boxing. So Polymaki will get that position back as he goes into 5th place. For now, Snacks up as well. Guyosh, perhaps, looking at the maybe, perhaps, possibly. And Ivan stays ahead of Nico, so no pit stop problems there. Coming out of the pit lane, and hopefully everything is cool when they get out. Oh, whoa! He's been pushed off. He's had to cross the yellow line, and I'm not sure if he's got penalised for that, because that was a very sketchy moment when he got out of the pits. Thankfully, no harm done, it seems, in terms of the car. Staying on the track, Nico now is going to be having Lawrence and Ivan to deal with in front of him as they approach the hairpin. He's went into the back of Lawrence. Luckily, no damage there as well, but my goodness, it's getting very sketchy now as they come through into the mid part of the race. Lap 21 of 39, 19 to go. Well, it'll be 18 to go soon. Dirk has caught up to Alex Lofer.
Half a second the gap. There is a difference in tyre delta. 5 laps between Alex Lofer and Dirk's medium tyres. Both of them have to stop again. And they've also got 16 seconds over the next car, which is Mats van der Geest in P3, who's really under significant pressure from Vollekongen, who's been quite quiet in the mid-phase of this race, following really closely up the hill through Massenet. Is he going to try it down the inside into Mirabel? Mats van der Geest holding the middle of the circuit. Vollekongen would have had to go the long way around, but a slight lock-up for the RB just puts him offline ever so slightly, but Vollekongen isn't quite there to capitalise just yet. The battle lad in front getting closer by the split second. Dirk really close behind that Alpine through the Nouvelle chicane. Same with Vollekongen, who has a big slide coming out of Portier. What does Alex Lofer do strategy-wise here? They both have to make one more stop. Alex Lofer, you would imagine, will be into the pits first unless Dirk wants to spring a surprise on his main rival for the race win.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. The Vollekongen and Van der Geest still kicking off as well. The top 5 yet to pit. Is any of them going to pit? We know the top 2 aren't. They've just passed the straight. They're still fighting, going up the hill. Here we go. Is this going to be a move from Dirk? He's going for it. Going to the inside. Off Alex Lofer. And he's pushed Alex Lofer to the outside. Through the casino square they go, but no, he can't do it. Alex Lofer somehow, somewhere, holds on and goes into the chicane. Not the chicane, the hairpin section now. They're still fighting. Dirk really wants that position, but he's not going to get it. He pumps him in at the Lowe's hairpin. This is getting all too shady now. The top 2 fighting for their life, like everything is on the line. Well, it isn't really in the championship, but the honour of winning in Monaco is just too great to ignore. And Alex Lofer and Dirk will battle into the Nouvelle chicane. No move here. They're going to take a careful mistake from Alex Lofer. A mistake from Alex Lofer, but he's sticking ahead. My word. He is staying ahead somewhere, somehow. Alex Lofer fashion. Trying to keep his win streak on course.
Oh, Vollekongen's down the inside into the Nouvelle chicane. Max van der Geest under pressure. Has he been caught napping? Vollekongen, it has to be the long way round for the second half. But that is incredibly done by last season's runner-up. Respectful from the pair of them. Was late. It was a lunge down the inside, but it was clean as you like. And Vollekongen pushes the RB off the podium.
Dirk's going for the move again, I think. He's right up there. He's got more speed than Alex Lofer. Through up the hill and a slide from Alex Lofer coming through Massenet and the square. I'm losing my voice. Help!
I will.
On the inside is Dirk. And Van der Geest is pit, so it's Vollekongen on his own now and more pushing going into the hairpin. And Alex Lofer. Oh, how long can you hold on, sir?
This is the most pressure. This is the most pressure he's been under all season. There haven't been cars this close to him realistically at all. He's had the pace advantage and a significant pace advantage over everybody else in the opening 3 races. But even though he's got all the tyres and they still have a stop to go, he is massively under the cosh, under the microscope. Dirk is pushing the championship leader incredibly hard.
Meanwhile, his teammate, Ivan Istrig, is battling with Mateus going up the order. Going into the hairpin, it's looking like he's not going to get a move. He's got all this whole gaggle of cars behind. Lawrence, Lars Kramer, and Nico behind as well. So there's 2 battles here. And got to remember now, these drivers have done their stops. And don't forget, what if a safety car happens?
That would be spicy, wouldn't it? Guillaume has got themselves into a really strong place, by the way. P5, with drivers still yet to make their final stops, is ahead of Mats van der Geest, who's come out of the pits in P7. Vollekongen could be behind the Kick Sauber as well. Same with Polly Mackie. The lead is still separated by just 0.2 of a second. Dirk, once again, we've seen it time and time again, pushing Alex Lofer through the Lowe's hairpin, saying, come on, get on with it. I thought you were supposed to be the championship leader, mate, but I'm clearly significantly faster at this stage, despite only having 5 lap fresher medium tyres. Dirk is very hooked up. He had an opportunity to get past a few laps ago. He was, I'd call it respectful, but maybe was just a little bit passive because he gave Alex Lofer so much free real estate going through Casino Square to get back down the inside and take the lead back off his hands.
Free real estate? I didn't know we were playing Monopoly.
All the time.
Yes, feels like it.
Dirk's in.
Kind of stakes and Dirk's in. This is an undercut from Dirk. He needs to pull it off. Alex Lofer is going to be putting lap after lap after lap here. Qualifying session multiplied by 100 here. And Volokongan is coming around as well. He hasn't pit either, and neither has Polimaki. Volokongan is going to take his chance, and he is going to come out in front of Dirk.
Polimaki in, so it's just the leading duo that are yet to stop in this race with that undercut thrown by Dirk. I'm surprised Alex Lofer let that happen, I have to say. He's surely going to get undercut by Dirk unless the RB gets held up behind the Mercedes. This could give Dirk the track position that he's been dying for because Alex Lofer is really slow at this stage on those medium tyres. Was under significant pressure. Volokong is a little bit quicker as Polimaki will come out in last place despite being fourth by the time he made his stop because there is a massive train behind Giosch in the Sauber. Mats van der Geest 2 seconds back. Then Phil, Mateus, Ivan Eskrig, Lawrence, Lars Kramer, Nico, Snacks, all fighting over the same piece of racetrack. This is going to be incredibly tense come the end of this race. Lawrence having to go defensive because Lars Kramer all over the back of him. Down into Mirabeau, into the Lowe's hairpin as well. Not an opportunity to swing it around the outside and try and pull the punch and push your rival down a further spot.
Speaking of safety car, have we even have a safety car this season? BSC don't count.
I think we have. Snacks has managed to get past Nico on the exit of Portier. Alex Lofer continues on. Volokongan is staying out as well. But I think he is. Yes, he is going to let Dirk through. So Alex Lofer's moving chicane has just moved out of the way for the driver that's hunting him down. And that is not good news. Alex Lofer definitely is going to come out behind Alex Lofer. Or Alex Lofer, sorry, is definitely going to come out behind Dirk. The question is how far and how quickly can he catch him back up?
Yeah. Or is he going to try something? Is he use softs?
Maybe. Has he got enough time? We saw that it was difficult to overtake. Dirk tried it, couldn't get through with the significant pace advantage that he had.
What's one stop?
He's going to get to...
No, it's a two-stop.
That would be the ultimate power play. He's so far ahead in the championship, he's just going to disqualify himself because he knows that he can afford to lose 16 points to his rivals.
Maybe a safety car.
If we haven't seen a safety car yet, I find it unlikely that we're going to see. And we had a bit of a pile-up on the opening lap where Simone Mara was trailing down the barriers out of turn number 1. But other than that, there's been no safety car. Ivan Eskrig, the second Alpine, should be picking up the Constructors' Championship with the lead Alex Lofer's got in the drivers' standings. Is hot on the heels of Mateus in the battle for 7th and 8th. Phil started this race from P18, now finds himself nestled very nicely in position number 6. Position number 6. Could be 5, depending on where Volokongan filters out as Dirk punches in a purple lap time, fastest of the race so far. He's taken 4 seconds out of Alex Lofer on this lap alone. Just keep your eyes here on Volokongan. Going to filter out behind the Sauber of Giosch, behind the RB of Mats van der Geest. So he's going to have to overtake him once again. And is he just going to be ahead of the Aston Martin of Phil? It's touch and go, but he is going to be in P5.
Oh, and he's going to be full speed ahead now. Phil right behind him, and if they clash, well, Mateus is going to get involved, Ivan and everyone else behind him is going to get involved. Lars Kramer right behind Lawrence here, and Lawrence going to go to the inside to try and cover it, but Lawrence says, no, I'm going to go to the inside, thank you. You try that on me? I don't think so. But he's unable to get through, and they're banging wheels again. It's becoming a dodgem race instead of a car race, but it's still in the race, still no damage, thank goodness for that.
And Alex Lofer's in, by the way. Race leader is boxing, so we'll get to see what the equation is. And I think he's done that because Volokong has got out of the way. He is also boxed. The gap is going to be significant, though, it has to be said. Look at that. Medium tyres going on. With 12 laps to go, Alex Lofer is absolutely miles behind Dirk, waiting for the Delta to update. I think that's maybe 10 seconds, the gap between them. Yeah, 10.5 seconds, plus the warm-up phase. That's a lot of heavy lifting. We know Alex Lofer is the fastest driver, but that is a sizable gap with just a 3-lap undercut.
Has he got a trick up his sleeve? Are we going to have a new winner at last? Answers on a postcard, please, as Nico has lost the position to Polimaki, who is on the much softer rubber, and he could be going for points here if he can make some moves, because Lars Kramer and Snacks are battling each other as well, so wonder if that's going to pose a problem to them. And we've got a battle for 9th still going on between Lawrence and Lars. You see they were banging each other last lap. That did not go well.
Don't want to hear about that.
Sorry, no, you know what we mean. They were fighting for position. Oh god. Sorry.
Gap out in front, 10.4 seconds. Alex Lofer will take chunks of time out of Dirk with those fresher tyres and softer tyres, medium compared to hard tyres. It's just how long the advantage will swing in the way of Alpine, and at what stage will the hard tyres be better than the mediums, if at any stage in the remaining 11 laps of this Monaco Grand Prix. Alex Lofer's going for the quartet, 4 out of 4 races to start off season 41. Dirk is trying to become the first driver not called Alex Lofer to win this season and try and mount a belated championship charge after the golden run that Alex Lofer has started this campaign on. 9.5 seconds, that gap is eroding very, very quickly. You would expect so. Just how much time, really, will Alex Lofer have to overtake Dirk once he gets there?
18.6 first sector for Alex Lofer. He's cut the gap down to 9.4. Finley is retired from the race. That's irrelevant right now. He's been long gone from this race. Battle for third going on as well. Dirk is realising that the gap is going down at a second a lap, and he's got to put all the pressure on now. He's got to go full speed ahead if he wants to win this race, because he knows that with the current way it's going, Alex Lofer is going to try and nick it near the end. This will be something, it's like Senna Mansell in 1992. One guy had the perfect record versus the other who masters the track. And Dirk is right now. Is he going to hold on like Senna did in 92 to end Mansell's streak of 5 wins in a row? This time it's 3 wins in a row, of course. We'll have to find out. The battle's still going on behind him. It's Volkongen and Van de Geest with that damage. And it's all suspicious from Volkongen. How has he done that?
Oh, a bit of lag going on, and Mats van der Geest has slammed it into the barrier. What has gone on there? Oh no, it's just desync. Well, we thought Mats van der Geest for just a moment there had thrown it into the wall, but that is not what has happened, as the servers just a little bit dodgy.
They can't handle the chaos. Gap now 8 seconds at the top. Still fighting behind with everyone fighting for them final points positions. They really need these points as well. Polymaki's going to fight Snacks into the Nouvelle chicane, and Snacks has been given a penalty. He probably have that removed considering they were fighting for position. And I think damage on Polymaki as well. So yeah, he's lost his end plate. His right end plate is capitulated. He's now going to be at risk of scoring no points whatsoever on the fresher tyre. He took the gamble, but it has not paid off. Volkongen are now fresher rubber than Giosh. He's going to go for the move there, and Giosh is still coming side by side in the podium positions, and Volkongen is there. And Giosh now down into 4th, and he's going to have to fight off Van de Geest for that 4th place.
Double trouble there. Got past Van der Geest on the previous lap. Now disposes of Giosh and does, last year's runner-up, get up inside the top 3. But he is 16 seconds off the back of Alex Lofer, whose charge is cooled partly because he's stacked it into the wall. He's missing half of his front wing, and that is why his pace has evaporated. And that might be the card Dirk needs to just cruise until the checkered flag.
Yeah, wait, has he got damage?
Missing, yeah, that front right end plate.
That might hamper him, but remember, this is Alex Lofer. Anything can happen with him. Meanwhile, for some battles still happening between Van de Geest and Giosh. I think Dirk's about to lap Nico, who's in 13th and is pit again. I think that's the 3rd time he's pit. So definitely not going to get disqualified, but I don't think it's going to help his charge. He is well down on the order, unfortunately. Further back, that is Lars Kramer trying to hold on to his final point, or trying to gain a point going against Lawrence as they head into the 32nd lap of the race. It is absolutely nuts through here. But at the top, it's a question of how fast he can be. There's no improvement from Alex Lofer. I think he may have just cost himself this race.
Pushing too hard. Very easy to do at Monaco, and it punishes you very severely. Mats van der Geest is all over the place, ducking and weaving, darting and diving behind the Sauber of Giosh, trying to get that 4th place. Remember, Mats van der Geest has a 3-second penalty Phil is 5.5 seconds further back down the road, so doesn't need to think about the group behind unless somebody charges from amongst that pack. But Mats van der Geest has fresher tyres than all of them, except Polymäki, who is towards the back of that group. So Van der Geest just has to get past Gioch and then pull those 3 seconds to get himself 4th position. 8 seconds the gap out in front. It is still coming down, but it's coming down incrementally rather than in big leaps and bounds and jumps, which says to the damage and the pain and the suffering that Alex Lofer is going through with that reduction in front downforce. And if Volokongan wasn't so close, there could be the opportunity to maybe roll the dice again, strap on a set of the soft tyres, and then try and charge after Dirk in the final 6 laps. But he doesn't have that margin, that room to try and throw that alternate strategy to try and rectify the mistake.
No, he doesn't. There's no change in the gap at the top, no significant change. I think this race is over. Alex Lofer has not played it as cautiously as he would have liked, and I think he's going to miss out on a win for the first time this season unless miracles happen. And it could still happen if there is an incident behind that causes a safety car or anything else. But we'll have to find out. We've got Evanes Creek still fighting Matthias in the hairpin for 7th place. Van der Geest still trying to get ahead of Gioch, who is 5 seconds behind Volokongan in the podium. I think the podium positions are set. And lots of others going on too.
Evanes Creek close to the back of Matthias. That battle will continue. They've got fairly similar tyre age to their names. 15 for the Haas, 13 as Polymäki has stacked it into the Nouvelle Chicane. We've got a virtual safety car, not a full course caution, which would have spared the blushes for Alex Lofer. Where's he on second? Oh, it's come about 20 seconds too late for the championship leader to duck into the pits and maybe give himself a late shot at charging afterwards. Dirk for the second time. Isn't going to be the full course caution. I don't think you can get full safety cars around Monaco. I think it's just something that happens sometimes. Evanes Creek into the pits. Lars Kramer in as well. Interesting decision as they bail on their set of tyres and box for the 3rd time. I've only got 12 runners and riders left though. They're going to filter out about 15 seconds, maybe 10 seconds back from where they were. That's going to be an interesting strategy. See if they can charge back towards that group in front and pick up some points.
We're just waiting for ends, hopefully.
Will Dirk box? I doubt it. Nico going through the final couple of corners stays out. They all know if it's ending. We won't. We don't get the message. Dirk has still got front wing damage himself, we have to say that, missing his front right end plate. So both of the leading duo are wounded. Dirk is going to stay out. Not worth rolling the dice at this stage with just 5 laps to go. We go green flag racing once again, and Alex Lofer, that virtual safety car has come out at the exact worst timing for him because it didn't afford him the opportunity to get into the pits.
Absolutely, but the gap's now down to 7 seconds. But I fear it may be too late.
Definitely too late, I would say.
Dirk has been fantastic at the front. He's held the lead for the whole race, I think. No, he hasn't. Of course, Alex Lofer had the lead for a while, but then he got completely undercut. And everything's went pear-shaped from since, but it is still not over. You first to finish first, you first must finish, as the famous Murray Walker once said.
The legendary Murray Walker. I think you've done him a bit of a disservice there.
We all know he's a legend, mate.
5 laps of the Monaco Grand Prix remaining. It is Dirk leading the way by 7.5 seconds. The championship leader won't go perfect. He lost his perfect streak in qualifying, started from 2nd place. Looks like he's going to finish 2nd in the race as well. And Dirk is finally going to break the streak of Alex Lofer, whose golden tungsten run is going to come to its end here in the Principality with 4 laps remaining of the Monaco Grand Prix. Volokongan is comfortable in 3rd, 16 seconds off the back of Alex Lofer, but is now 7 clear of the battling Gioch and Mats van der Geest, who does have to be a little bit careful because Phil has eroded that gap by about half a second. Remember, Mats van der Geest with a 3-second penalty will drop that place to the Aston Martin if he can't A, get past Gioch and then get a shift on, or keep that gap above 3 seconds.
Absolutely. 7.5 seconds. The gap has remained stagnant and stubborn. I think it may be over for Dirk. We're going to have a new winner, it seems. Unless the worst comes to worst for Dirk, I think he'll be fine. We know that Dirk loves keeping it under control, and he has today. Further back, it seems like all the battles have died down. I think the VSC has ruined the plans.
Well, what I would say is Ivan Eskrig and Lars Kramer on their brand new tyres, catching the group in front very, very quickly. So there could be a late skirmish in the lower reaches of the points-paying positions.
Oh, yes. That's true. Oh, right. Something's happened in the football. We'll not mention that yet. Van de Geest is on 3 tenths behind Josh, and Matthias is 7 tenths behind, so we've got some battling there as we are now into the final 3 laps of the race. Dirk seemingly impenetrable at the top, and Alex Lothar is going to be condemned to his first non-victory. I wouldn't say it's a loss. He's not going to win for the first time, but he's still going to be in a brilliant spot for the championship, 2nd place, and that will mean he will have a huge lead. So the perfection is off, obviously, we know that now, but he's going to have 63 points, which is incredible, and everyone is still going to be around 20s and 30s, which is incredible to think. It will be hard to top Alex Lothar right now. Meanwhile, the battles are still going on. Matthias battling with Phil at the hairpin, but unable to get through, and Van de Geest now trying to get up front of Giosh, and he's going to try something. No, he's not. Oh, he's pushed him at the Nivelle chicane, but it's not done him anything. And Snacks has been passed by Ivan Eskrig for 9th place.
Oh dear, Lars Kramer, clumsy move down the inside into the Nouvelle chicane, clatters into the McLaren and sends him sideways, and that was not the cleanest move that we've seen tonight, it has to be said. Bit of a misjudgment there as Lars tried to follow Ivan Eskrig through. A bit of a clumsy bit of contact there with just 2 laps to go. Ivan Eskrig very wobbly, locking the rears down into La Rascasse, trying to dispose of Lawrence now, who has got a penalty, so the Alpine will inherit this position anyway, but with 15 lap fresher tyres, absolutely blasts past before we even get to Saint-Devote. That is 8th place reassumed for Ivan Eskrig, has already caught up to where he was, and with 2 laps to go can now try and go about his business and picking up more points than he would have got if he had stayed out under the VSC.
Yeah, just to mention, Dirk is coming close to lapping Nico, but not yet. He might get him in time, but now Ivan could be getting 6th here if he can get past Matthias with this fresher rubber. Way fresher rubber. Drippier compound. Younger tyre life. Can he get through at the Nivelle chicane? No, he nearly loses it heading in, and he bumps into Matthias in the process, but still gets it complete and still in 8th. So he's going to have to try and find something on this final lap to get a couple of extra points if he can. But it looks like the final lap is on upon us, and now Dirk is on his victory lap.
100% in the middle sector at the moment. Still watching the second Alpine of Ivan Eskrig, trying to pick up as many places as he can. He's got so much more confidence on traction and under braking as Nico allows Dirk to lap him. He's coming through to back corner now. Battle going on behind us. Lars Kramer, contact with Lawrence, slammed into the wall on the run up the hill, and that is damage for the pair of them. But out in front, Alex Lothar been the king so far in season 41, but he'll be anointed no more, because the prince of the principality tonight will be Dirk. He rounds Antonino's for the final time. 38 laps of madness, but it is Dirk who wins the Monaco Grand Prix and is the first non-Alex Lothar victory, pole position and the race win. That is some drive from Dirk in that RB car. Alex Lothar does not win, but he does come home in second. We return to action to watch his teammate, who's darting it down the inside into the Nouvelle chicane and does manage to force his way past Matthias, who falls off the circuit. Up into 7th place he goes, running out of time to get past Phil. Volokongan comes home in P3 ahead of Giosh, who is just about going to keep Mats van der Geest at arm's length. The 3-second penalty will mean naught for Mats van der Geest, who will remain in position number 5. Then it is Phil, who one more lap would be dropping behind the charging Alpine of Ivan Eskrig into position number 7. But as it is, the Aston Martin charges to the line in 6th, ahead of Ivan and Matthias. Into the wall we go with the Alpine at the check. checkered flag. And Lars Kramer, well, it was a bit of contact. A bit contact-strewn, wasn't it? The final few laps for that Williams. Comes home in 10th, but penalties, you would imagine, will be applied to him. But for the first time, Alex Lofer has been dethroned this season. Second in qualifying, second in the race. And that was to the RB of Dirk.
So, congratulations to Dirk, of course. He held it together after being undercut in the mid part of the race. After the first stop, he took advantage in the second stop and could not be caught after that. He is going to give them the first win for Racing Bulls this season, and Alex Lofer will have to just admit he was second best today. He still leads the championship by a country mile or two. But it will be it will be Dirk that takes top honours tonight.
Race winner and the cleanest driver,
one.
by the way. I know the awards don't provide any points, but he does get cleanest driver, fastest lap, Alex Lofer. And then driver of the day, from the back of the grid, Phil, and with most overtakes.
Phil, yes, he started right back in P17 and finished P6, which is great to see. And he held off even Eskri to the end as well. Alex Lofer does get the fast lap. Unfortunately, no point for the fastest lap. Van de Geest did finish in his proper position despite the penalty. I don't think anyone lost any positions. No, nobody lost any positions as a result of the penalties. So it's a rarity.
Was indeed. 6 retirees as well, that you can see at the very bottom. Simone Mara, we lost on the opening lap. Jordan Dillon, Leon Finlay, and I didn't see the last one there. But that is it for Monte Carlo. Exciting, as it always is. We wondered whether Monaco would be difficult, as it sometimes can be in real life. But that two-stop strategy really spiced things up. We saw the pace differential for drivers that were running different rubber of very different ages. We didn't quite have our grandstand finish, unfortunately, with Alex Lofer picking up that damage that cooled his assault and his charge back up towards Dirk. It isn't 4 out of 4 for Alex Lofer, but it is a second place, and he is still 100% on the podium for this season. But Logan, a Monaco Grand Prix that I think, whilst it wasn't necessarily the cleanest race that I think any of us have seen, and a lot of drivers will probably put their hands up to that one, it was most certainly enthralling.
It was indeed, yes. It was great to see a lot of that action happening. I wish they did that in real life, but it's seemingly almost impossible when, of course, the track is that tight. But it is interesting to see when you go in the digital world, it's a whole different ballgame compared to the real world. It's been fantastic all night. And a new winner, which spices things up. Well, not in the championship terms, which at the front, it can spice things up. And it was interesting seeing the 2 stops today. I think Alex Lofer was a bit thrown off by the 2-stop rule. And even though he probably knew it well before everyone knew it was a 2-stop like real life, it was fun to see that the 2 stops can change these races up sometimes.
Yeah, I think you would describe that as a winnable race for Alex Loef, but just didn't quite look as polished and as bulletproof as he has been for this whole season so far, you have to say. A couple of bits of admin just to finish us off. If you are unsure where we're heading next week, well, the calendar appears on your screen just like that. And from Monaco, we go to another circuit which can at sometimes resemble a bit of a go-kart track. It is the Red Bull Ring in the Styrian Hills of Austria. Following that, we have Canada and then the British Grand Prix as our last race of 2025. PSGL PS side ends for 2025 on the 15th of December. And then we will reconvene on the 5th of January in 2026 for a 4-race bonanza to round things off. Mexico City, followed by Saudi Arabia. The passion and the flair of the Brazilian Grand Prix. And we round things off in Abu Dhabi on the 26th of January. Feels like a hell of a long time away, but it will come round very, very quickly. Won't it, Logan?
Yes, it will. It is, of course, nearly that time of the year where we get very festive. So, of course, we have that 2-week break for that. But yeah, it is going to hit like a brick wall because of only being 11 rounds. It is quite normal for championships. Of course, we've had 14 and 15 rounds before. I think it was F1 22 we had 15 round championships. Or was it 21? I can't remember. It was one of the two. But yeah, very fast season it feels like. And yeah, next round is going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to be going back to the Red Bull Ring, which is, of course, very fun track to drive, one of the shortest tracks in the world, I believe.
Indeed. Fast-paced, good action as well, opportunity for overtaking. That should be very, very exciting. And before we go as well, if you are looking to improve your performance on F1 25, then sim racing setups have got you covered. Unlock extra performance, those extra tenths or maybe seconds, I don't know how slow you are, with the Pro F1 25 car setups created and developed by the drivers he competing here week in, week out here at PSGL. Esports has stable setups for every single circuit on the game, qualifying and race setups, and for all weather occasions as well, dry or wet. Optimal race strategies thrown in there as well, and all of those setups available for £49.99 over at simracingsetup.com, which is linked in the description. 27 circuits on the game, $49.99 divided by 27. That's pretty darn good value. And remember, if you want to get 5% off, use the code PSGL at checkout for that 5% discount. But it has been a pleasure, as always, to bring this series to you on a Monday evening. The Monaco Grand Prix, considerably more exciting and chaotic than it has been in real life over the past few years. Next week in Austria, can Alex Sofa get back onto the top step? We will have to wait and see in 7 days' time. Finally, Logan, where can people check you out on the old social medias if they want to see what you're up to?
You can check me out at the Otaku Logan YouTube channel. I forgot I was on the camera. Hopefully you didn't see anything that you shouldn't have, such as top secret documents.
What have you been hiding?
Oh. What, do you think I've leaked F126 information? I can.
Wow. Damn. Well, stay tuned for that. Logan knows the inside scoop. But make sure you check him out. And also, if you're interested in what I'm doing, Wilco.coms or Wilco.darts on TikTok and Instagram. But thank you, everybody, for watching. We will see you in 7 days' time for the Red Bull Ring. Alex Lofer, for the first time, has been dethroned in PSGL PSF1. Will he get back to normal business in 7 days' time, or will we see another new winner this season? It remains to be seen, but we are, I'm sure, all very excited to see what comes. Until next time, it has been a pleasure as always, and we will see you in Austria very, very soon. I pressed the wrong button. We'll see you in Austria very, very soon.